Determine if the following are functions or simply relations. Now this is all to do with the vertical line test. If we fail the vertical line test, then we're not a function. If we pass it, we are a function. And remember, the vertical line test says that any vertical line cuts at most once. So if we look at part A, look at the equation. You should recognize that as being a circle. And a circle is going to fail the vertical line test. So this one is just a relation. They're all relations, but some relations are functions. So this one is just a relation. Now let's look at B. If we expand that out, we can see that we have a quadratic. We know the shape of that graph. It's a parabola like this. Think about the vertical line as it goes across. It's only ever going to cut once. So that one is a function. And in actual fact, if we just go a step further, we can see that that would be a many-to-one function. Now if we look at C, x plus y is 7 can be rearranged to 7 minus x. Well, that's a straight line. If we draw that one, it looks like this. Any horizontal line there is always going to cut once. So this one is a function, and in fact it's a one-to-one function, not that we were asked that. D, we have xy is 7, which can be rearranged to 7 over x. So that's going to be related to 1 over x. We know what that looks like. So we know that's going to look something like this. Thinking about dragging a vertical line across there, it's going to cut once everywhere except when it's actually on the axis, in which case it won't cut at all, but that's fine. We're allowed to cut not at all with the vertical line test. So this one is a function. Now in part E, x is equal to y squared minus 3. We know what that looks like. If y is equal to 0, x is negative 3. If x is equal to 0, y is equal to 3, so that's going to go through positive and negative 3. And we know that this type of thing is a parabola on its side, like so. And if we put any vertical line through there, and the axis was an example of that, it cuts twice. So this one here is simply a relation, not a function. Now let's look at F. So if x is equal to 5, we get 0 here. X can't be more than 5. So that one is going to be a square root curve, but it's going to start over here at 5, and it's actually going to go back this way. If you think about x being a negative number, this is going to be a large positive number in here, so it's going to go like this. Any vertical line is going to cut once if it's over here, not at all if it's over here. Both of those are fine, so it's a function. Remember, at most once means it can cut no times at all. X to the 4 add 2. So if we were to sketch that, and once again this is a curve that we've met before, this type of curve. So that's actually going to look something like that. And any vertical line is going to cut just the once. and so that one is a function. Now the last one we have is 2 over x plus 3 minus 1. Now you might not quite know what that looks like at the moment, but we'll be coming on to that very shortly indeed. So we're not allowed to have x equal to negative 3, and that tells me that x is negative 3 is a vertical asymptote. The negative one outside here is going to move the whole thing down, and that means that the horizontal asymptote would be y is negative 1. Other than that, we can see that this is a 1 over x type graph. So without worrying too much about intercepts and things, the general shape of that is going to be like this. And we didn't need to worry about things like the range and stuff like that. All we're looking at is what happens when any vertical line comes across. And we can see it cuts once everywhere, except when it goes down the vertical asymptote, in which case it doesn't cut at all, which is fine for our test. So this one is a function.